This isn't like an article, but it's
For the
just
love
a
of
thing.
God, did you ever learn how to? What have you done, James? There you go. You got to add the space. If you don't add the space, the hyperlink won't engage. I'm shit you not. I'm serious. You think I'm joking? It's a dumb little thing that I had to learn. But yeah.
Oh
Anyways,
my gosh, what have I done?
do you want me to
Okay.
fix this? Do you want me to
Nope,
fix
it's
this?
good now. I fixed it.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it. You have a whole empty thing. Is there anything gonna go here? This
Nope.
James, this is my job now. So you're making me cringe thoroughly at this point. Do you want me to get rid of this extra V because it goes from 1 to 3 to 4?
I fixed it.
Thank you.
Would you like me to put it in quotes so you know it's a comment and not code? I'll
So
comment it. I'll
what
comment it out for
quotes?
you.
What quotes are you gonna
I
call?
commented out. I commented it out for
Are
you.
you gonna throw it in curly boys? Are you gonna throw it in brackets? What are we gonna do, James? Because you gotta be more specific. Don't fuck with me on this. It also depends on if you're gonna. Oh wow, you're gonna do that, and you're doing it incorrectly too. That's good for you. So
And I'm gonna do inconsistent formatting too. So one's gonna be in brackets and one's
yeah, you're
gonna
just
be...
here to mess with me today. Love you to death. Hi, and welcome to Seriously Pointless Conversations About Culture, your seriously pointless podcast about all your nerdy and gaming news for the month of August. I'm your host, David, and again, I am joined by the bearded behemoth, James. How you doing, man?
I'm doing Beardly now.
That's right. I can also do my own alliterations when it comes to it. Not as good as you can, but I'm getting better. So
Yeah, no, I got my haircut today. I'm feeling fresh and fancy. So
ooh, I was wondering something about you had a glow about you, and it just did something for me. I was like, man, what's up with James today? He looks stylish. I like it, and he looks like a man who could go about town. That's what I said to myself.
much better than I looked yesterday. So we're good.
I understand completely. I actually had my haircut about a week ago, and I'm already thinking like, man, my hair's starting to look shaggy. This is bad. So, so let me ask you this: so, do you go legit? Do you go to a barber at all to get your beard trimmed up at all?
Typically no.
Okay, I was just curious.
If I need to trim my beard, I will oil it, straighten it with the blow dryer, and then trim it.
Okay, I'm
If you
starting
try,
to.
it's curly enough beard that if you try to trim it when it's curled up, it's just going to look uneven the next day when you try to brush it out again. So
Yeah, I'm kind of running into these things as my facial hair. I would not call this a beard yet. I would call this just hair on my face.
I mean,
It's growing out, so I'm starting to learn the things about this because not having being allowed to have facial hair for like 10 years 15 years, it's kind of like, okay, what am I going to do now with this? Oh, I can do anything I want. This is kind of fun. So I kind of got a little bit of a Moriarty kind of mustache going on. I like it. Jackie thinks it looks dumb, but I like it.
you're working from home. Who cares?
Exactly. Who's going to look at me? Oh, she does. That's why she
What I
hates
would
it. So
do, seriously, though, for beard trimming, what I would do, let your face grow for like 6 months.
okay.
And then once you see what type of beard you can grow, then decide how you're going to trim it.
Well, it's
Because
obviously
if you don't give the sides time to grow in, they'll never grow in, and you'll always have it just the chin strap. So
that's kind of what I'm doing at this point. I'm kind of letting the sides kind of come in. I know this has become a beard podcast and it's not gaming anymore. I'm kind of letting that grow in a little bit more. I'm just kind of trying to keep the front tamed a little bit because it's growing excessively faster than the rest of my face. So
yeah,
it is what it is. So, and also this mustache is just you can't see it because of the blonde. It's a more of a reddish color, reddish blonde,
well,
and it's just like it is just insanely long. And I'm like, good lord.
well, you gotta wax it if you want to do that.
That's what I've started doing. I've got some beard wax now, and I'm starting to kind of pull it out a little bit, and I have the mwahahaha going down. So we're getting there. So
Nice.
so enough about beard talk, James. What have you been up to, man? I know it's been a little bit since we talked, but I want to know what have you been up to? Because I know
Oh,
we've
just
had a little bit of a break here.
doing the summertime stuff. It's been vacations and float trips and get-togethers, and it's just been
Yeah.
honestly exhausting. It's getting to where I'm kind of looking forward to going to work and just
I know you
not
said
dealing with stuff.
I know you said last time that your family your in-laws were in town, so that I'm guessing it was successful. Your float trips were successful,
It
and
was a very successful float trip. Everyone had a blast.
awesome, man.
Uh, Gaming wise, I've just been doing Minecraft lately.
Sometimes you just need that
All right,
break.
we got a little family server set up, and which you're welcome to play if you want to. I know you're not really a Minecraft person,
It
but
is
we
what it
got we
is.
got a little server set up. We've been building stuff and having fun crafting, and that's been my thing just now. But there's some new
Awesome.
games coming out, which we're going to talk about later, which I think is going to get me off Minecraft for a little while.
That it will. That it will. There's some gems coming out this month, man.
Awesome gems. The long drought of between the springtime and the fall releases is finally over.
Oh my goodness, man! It that is just it's every year, but it's been especially bad this last couple years because of COVID and everything, and everyone's that the wheels of gaming development have kind of started moving a little bit faster again now that we've kind of moved away and so I found out, hey, oh, we can actually work from home and actually work fairly well now. So things are starting to pick back up again, luckily. So
Thank goodness.
I know other than like gaming, like you said, Minecraft. Have you been watching any of the anime for the summer at all?
Um, uh, yeah, we've been putzing around a little bit. You know how the streaming service, of course, is about a month behind the Japanese release, but the spring season finished up, and there was some good stuff on there. Love After World Domination is actually really cute. Uh, Watching that with Jackie might be fun.
I'm actually looked into that one a little bit, and it's on my. I don't know if I threw it on there as watch list or not, so I'm
Mhm.
gonna do that.
And the Ascension of a Bookworm is actually surprisingly really good. That one had a third season this last spring.
Did
Uh,
you have you gotten a chance to check out any of the ones that I sent you last time?
I haven't done too much yet because
I know
we started watching Nichijou, which I have mixed feelings about. I get the feeling that show would be absolutely hysterical in Japanese, but I get the feeling I'm missing out on half the jokes
it's
that
just
didn't
yeah
translate very well. So I think I'm probably not going to keep doing that one. But Overlord season 4, you probably know that one's
yeah.
coming out.
I do actually. So that is one of the ones I've actually kept up with, and I really enjoy Overlord quite a bit. So
It one's great, and I was worried season 4 was going to be terrible, but so far it's turning out good. The reincarnated as a pharmacist in another world, I'm cautiously optimistic about. We'll see. There's a lot of these days, like half the anime that come out are isekais, and
oh yeah,
we'll see if this one. It's 4 episodes in, and it's still interesting, so that's a good start.
good sign. Yeah.
A lot of these shows will kind of burn out all their good jokes on the first episode, and then they just kind of stop.
That is 100% valid. I'm 100% on there with you too. So,
But
um,
two new ones that are coming out, which is
ooh,
news, which I just found out about the other day. Made in Abyss is releasing a summer season, so Made in Abyss season 2 is coming out. It's going to be 12
nice.
episodes. Apparently, they've released 3 Made in Abyss movies that I was not aware of at all.
Do they develop on the season one at all, or are they just recap
Two
stuff?
two of the movies are recaps, and apparently one is a direct follow up to season 1.
Ooh,
So you have to watch that movie, and then the new season's called the Golden City of the Scorching Sun.
is it on Crunchyroll?
It's being released by High Dive. I don't know if High Dive is still putting things onto VRV or Crunchyroll, or if they're making their own service, and that's what I need to find out. That's why it has not popped up on Crunchyroll yet. I know High Dive stuff tends to be there eventually.
See, that makes me sad a little bit. I really wish sometimes they would, because that's the one thing I've noticed about Japanese IP. What I'm talking, what am I need to talk about? The way they release things, it's much more diversified as opposed to like in the U.S. where it's like everything pretty much goes through one giant central company. Like I know Disney usually has a specific company, like a sub company that they own that they release stuff through. But Japan is just a whole another kind of animal, man. And
Well,
it,
I can tell you part of it is the creator of the characters has much stronger rights towards their creations than you do in the U.S. Whereas in the
yes,
U.S., usually authors license out the rights to their stuff whenever they, release a movie or whatever.
Hmm.
In Japan, the original creators retain control of those characters, and so that's why you can see some shows just never get translated, some do, some stay in limbo because the original authors have almost total control over what's done with their IP, even decades later.
Well, to be fair, I do like that a lot more. It
It's a
just
good
puts
thing. I'm not criticizing it. That's a good thing. But
it is. It just in a down on the downside of things, it does a lot of times slow down the development of adaptations of their creations. So it's like I said, you get pluses and minuses on both sides because you could get something that is as god awful as Morbius. Which, if anybody has not seen that movie yet, I saw it on the plane ride home from California. All it did for me was fill that hour or the 2.5 hour flight that I had. That's all it did for me. It didn't do anything else. So yeah, it was. That's like I said. It's and if I think if the creators of that character would have retained rights to it, it probably would have done it a little bit more justice. But it is what it is. Like I said, it's everything's got its plus and minuses. That's why you have you get some really good things, and even sometimes with some of these anime, even though the creators retain the rights, sometimes it's still not as good as it could be. But it is what it
yeah,
is. So
I think another one that I think is worth looking at is The Devil is a Part Timer. I'm not sure if you saw that one when it was
yes,
on
I
Netflix.
actually started watching this whenever it first came out. It was really good.
Mhm.
And it's quite dirty sometimes, but I enjoy it. So
And so the first season was hilarious. I'm looking forward to watching the second one. I might have to rewatch it though. It's been a little while.
it has been, what has it been, like 2, 3 years? It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Oh, and actually, one thing I almost forgot to mention: Shadow's House is getting a second season.
I
That
don't
one was
even know.
that one was from the Winter anime, and it was really, really good.
See, now you got me think. Oh, okay. So Shadow's
I
House.
think I showed you this one before. I don't know if you actually got around to watching it or not.
It's added to the watch list now, so now I know to watch it. So, oh wow, so yeah, it is already up on. So, it's, hilltop, high atop a cliff sits the mansion known as Shadow House, home to a faceless clan that pretends to live like nobles. They express their emotions through living dolls that also endlessly clean this home of soot. One such servant, Emiliko, aids her master Kate as they learn about more about themselves and the mysteries of the house. Huh, sounds interesting.
It's got awesome music. The storyline is actually quite sinister. I think you would probably enjoy it. And Kelly likes that one a lot too, so maybe Jackie would enjoy that. I don't know.
Oh, and it has a Spanish dub. So Jackie, we could definitely watch it in Spanish dubbed in English subtitles. So Jackie would enjoy that probably. So
Yeah.
that sounds good. That would probably be on our list now that we've finished up some of our other stuff. So in regards to us, I haven't had a lot of time playing a lot of games, but I have gotten some time to play Ghost of Tsushima. Have you seen this at all?
I've seen some trailers for it. Yeah, how did it turn out?
It is wonderful, to say the least. So if you could think Assassin's Creed, but Japan, set in Japan, but it's a lot better.
Okay.
I'm only about 5 hours into it, maybe, but it
Wow.
is tons of fun. It's gorgeous. I mean, even playing it on the PS4 settings, it loads fast. It still looks gorgeous and it's very fluid. I haven't had any hiccups with it or anything like that. Everything's pretty straightforward. But I think the biggest thing that I enjoy about it is the way they take away the monotony of like, oh, this is an open world. They make it. They take those mechanics and they make it interesting, right? They take
You
instead of
don't have
having to.
you don't have to climb a tower every 100 yards to obtain
No,
your.
no, you really don't. No, you don't. I mean, sure, you have to go and you have to kill like Mongol leaders, like war band leaders to get free up regions and stuff like that. But that's not that bad. But the coolest thing I thought was though there's a little feature they had, and so instead of having like a little a compass marker at the top of your screen, you have to like slide your hand across the touchpad, and the wind blows in the direction that you have to be going. I need to be going, which
Mhm.
is kind of a cool mechanic I would never have thought of because I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. So it's just really interesting the little things that they did. So and it's very they do a lot of different styles involving like the way that the combat. Do you have the sword stance? The stone
Mhm.
stance, water stance, all those different stances. And then on top of that, you have different outfits depending on like what the different types of people you run into. Like you run into straw hats, the regular samurai, ronin. and they change up all that stuff, and it's very seems pretty like they've done their research on a lot of that stuff. So it's a very good game. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go out and check it out.
Mhm.
In regards to anime, I have not gotten a chance to watch a whole lot of anime because Jackie and I have been powering through Stranger Things season 4, which holy shit, I enjoyed way more than I should have. So
I need to watch it. I know part 1 and 2 are both out now, so I need to go sit down and watch.
that's what I was waiting for. I had started to watch it, and then Jackie said something because I didn't think she was going to want to watch it, or I didn't think she had time to watch it. And she said something after I'd watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, "Well, crud! I guess I'm gonna have to stop and wait for her." And so I'll rewatch these, and so we rewatched up to where I was, and then we just powered through it. That last episode is 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna
Holy cow.
give you fair warning. It is a long episode.
Link the movie.
I know, right? That's why they had to release it by itself, and it was well worth it. Though it has excellent. The music was excellent. The acting was excellent. It it left it open for season 5, which they've already announced that they're going to do, and it's going to be fun. I can already tell it's going to be a blast. So I don't want to ruin anything for you, but it was really good. It really ties the whole universe in together. So
Good.
um, and now that we have some and we now that we finished up, the other thing we did is we finished up Miss Marvel. I don't know if you've seen this was the Kamala Khan uh, superhero. She is Pakistani.
Okay.
It's a Marvel. The powers she exhibits in the comic books is she has more of like Mr. Fantastic powers where she can like really stretch her body out and stuff like that. They change her power setup just a little bit,
Mhm.
and they change up how she gets her power set up a little bit. So I'll put it this way: I enjoyed the series.
Mhm.
I think they did a disservice changing her origin story and changing her power set just a little bit
Yeah.
because they made it more of a crystalline energy power thing as opposed to stretchy. And
Hmm.
they changed her
Must feel like
personality a little bit.
different then. It's
Well, I think they were just trying. Her origin story was a little weird. It was based on the Inhumans, which I don't know if you know anything about that, but they get shoved in this Terrigen mist and they get cocooned for a little bit, and then they like come out and they have powers, yada yada.
Mhm.
So I guess they thought maybe that would be too weird for people, or maybe it's because the Inhumans TV series just flopped like hard. That's always a possibility too.
I could be it. They might have just tried to salvage the series that was half done when the Inhumans flopped. That could-
Yeah, and for my figure, but other than that, like I said, I love the actors that are in it, except for one of the kids that's in it. He's kind of dumb.
Hmm.
He's like the son of the bad guy, and I didn't think they fleshed out some of the bad guy's motivations a little bit more. She felt a little one dimensional, in my opinion. So,
Okay.
but other than that, I'm excited. They're gonna bring her back. I know she's gonna be in the Marvels movie, so I'll be interested to see what they do with that. So, um,
Awesome.
but other than that, man, I mean, it's just been a lot of television watching because that's really much all I've had time for with projects around the house and whatnot. But so, is there anything else you want to tell people you've been up to before we kind of get into the news of
Yeah,
the
let's
day
start
of the
go-
month?
start going through our articles.
You've been going. We're going to go through all of our articles. You're going to give
Yeah.
away everything that I have, James. Say, hey, David
Yep.
didn't write this out. David actually just went out and got articles. So we are going to be reading off. This is a new little portion I think we're going to try and do, but we're going to get monthly game releases or major game releases. So James and I have a list in front of us, and I'm just going to read off a few of them just to see what we've got coming out. So we got the gallery, the mortuary assistant, which I saw a trailer for that. That looks creepy as hell, by the way. It's on
Oh.
Steam. If you want to feel like one of the reviews said, make sure you wear level 1 depends when you play this game. I was like, oh, that's ought to be a good review then.
Oh, here you go.
Um,
Here, Alone with the Dead, Embalm Corpses, Banish Demons, Save Your Soul. Wow.
yeah, yeah, it's legitimately just a interactive horror movie, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. Nope.
Yeah, I have those. I like to sleep at night. I'm fine.
Yeah, I made it about, I got through the trailer and I'm like, no, I saw things crawling and I'm like, nope, I'm good. People are supposed to be dead. They stay dead. Nope. Um, the other ones that I saw, the main one that I was actually looking for, or there are two are two or three main ones on this list that I was really looking for. So before we leave, is a RP, not an RPG. I believe it is a strategy game, if I remember correctly. Um, but this one it should actually already be
Yeah,
out.
this one came out on Xbox, the Xbox
Uh,
Pass a while ago, didn't
it
it?
did come out a little while ago, but it is actually so it is not a strategy game. It is a uh, it's just a builder game, but
I actually,
essentially
I actually checked this one out a little bit. Yeah, it's like a civilization builder, and you have to like start at a primitive era and build up towards technology, and so you have to think about like whether you're going to destroy your forests before you can use them later, and
it's very
eventually a giant space whale is going to come eat your planet. I think.
yeah, it's very similar to kind of a Civ type thing, but I enjoy it. So I want to hop on that. Actually, my buddy Corey got this for Christmas. Got me this for Christmas. I think this last Christmas. So it's actually been sitting in my Steam library for a little bit, like everything else does. So I want to try that. But it actually was released for all for everything. I know. Was it just Xbox Game Pass? No, I think it. No, it is for.
It's on Steam as well now. I'm looking
It is
at it.
on Steam, yeah, but I just don't know if it's going to be released to anywhere else. I think the other one I was thinking of guillotine was farthest frontier, which is
Hmm.
another kind of civ building type game. Which
Okay.
I really want to. I actually really want to get this one. So this gives me Settlers of Catan vibes. I'll be honest with you, just watching it and
Just looking
playing
at
it.
the yeah, awesome.
It looks really fun. You know me, I like to build. I like my Civ games, my city builder games, my strategy games. So
Definitely.
I am very much into that. Um,
Oh gosh, I'm just looking at the sheer number of resources like each settlement makes in some of these
ex-
pictures.
exactly right.
This
So
is com-
that
this
one,
is complicated.
yeah. So there, that one is coming out today. That we're the day on the day that we're recording this episode is on the 9th. So check that out, guys. So
I know what you're
James,
doing. I know what you're doing instead of sleeping tonight.
no, I have to watch. My sister's dropping off the kids to watch, so we can watch them for a bit while she goes and gets some stuff done. So I will not have time. I'm probably going to crash hard because I'm going to have 5 children in this house that I have to watch. So I'm going to be pooped. So,
Yeah, I say her kids are old enough to just park on the TV for a little while. But
Jackie says I'm supposed to interact with them so they develop as people. That
uh,
might be a direct quote. And I need to be an adult. And I should do adult things.
I mean, I guess if you want to.
And then I retort, well, isn't adulting also knowing how to spend your free time and relax responsibly without stressing yourself out? And they were now the crux of Jackie and I's personalities.
Yes.
So there was a couple other ones that you were looking at though that
Yes.
you wanted to play,
I've
maybe.
I got my eye on Cult of the Lamb, which I know
Mm-hmm.
we've mentioned before. It is a watching Northern Lion play a few things of it. It's kind of like a mixture of a cult building game where you have this cult that worships your statues and you do rituals. You have to manage their resources and keep them happy. So it's kind of got some oxygen not included, management vibes going on, and it's paired with a roguelike, procedurally generated dungeon delve thing. Kind of, it has a dodge roll involved, so it's less Binding of Isaac and more Into the Gungeon kind of thing, where
Yeah.
it's top down. There's dodge roll mechanics. There's attacking. You find stuff as you journey through these things, and you're serving like this chained one below everything, and trying to kill the leaders of this big rival cult. And it looks like a lot of fun.
It does look a lot fun. I think I bought this one to
And
your attention, didn't I, a while
yeah,
ago?
you did originally. This was like we talked about it back in like December or something this last year.
Yeah, because I think they released. I think this got or the trailer got released for this either at the Game Awards
Mhm.
or one of the one of the gaming conventions. I can't remember which one, but yeah,
Well, and they also had the style to advertise at Game Developers Conference, Games Done Quick this year,
yeah, it was everywhere.
where they were plastered everywhere.
Which that's a smart move on their part because I don't know how many. There's a ton of people watch that one. So that is definitely one I would highly recommend folks to get out there and grab. I think that comes out in 2 days. So August
It's
11th is.
another, and the other one I have my eyes on, which I'm not sure if it's going to be awesome or not. We'll see. But what was it called? 2 Point Campus. If you played 2 Point Hospital when it came out, 2 Point Hospital hit a little bit too close to home, so I wasn't able to really enjoy it. But I think the college vibe is going to be a better fit for the kind of wacky style they
Too close to home.
have.
Love it.
But so I'm looking forward to trying out 2 Point Campus. It's on the Game Pass anyway, so I can put a few hours into it and decide if I want to spend time on it or not.
No, 100%, dude.
Oh, and and actually, one last, the Saints Row rework is coming out this month too. They're rebooting the Saints Row franchise, and the first game for it's coming out on the 23rd.
It's okay. I'll let you play it. I tried playing it and just felt like the poor man's GTA. I'll leave it at that. So
Saints Row 3 was fun. I never really messed with Saints Row 1 or 2. Um, I don't know. When Saints Row 2 came out, people really liked it because they said it was more fun than GTA at the time. But I know there's been a lot of GTA games since then,
there
and
have been a
they've
lot. So
and they've refined their gameplay loop now, and so it's less downtime than there used to be.
I don't
So I
know.
don't know.
Maybe I've grown out of that kind of real life urban. I don't know, like fighter type, like open world type game. I don't know. I like to go into the fantasy style stuff or the sci-fi type thing a little bit more.
I've definitely been gravitating harder and harder towards fantasy the older I get. It's I kind of agree the gritty stuff is just not as exciting as it once
I
was.
have enough gritty stuff within my life that I've seen that I prefer to be happy a little bit more often than not.
Exactly.
So
I'm doing this to have fun, not to.
not to cry myself to sleep at night because I just had to kill some small child to finish a quest or something dumb. So,
Mhm.
but any other, they're okay. There's two more games that I wanted to throw out before we really kind of like move on from here. Tribes of Midgard. This is I believe it's an MMO. No, I'm sorry. This is an action adventure RPG. I believe though you can play with multiple people online, if I remember correctly. Um, so do 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 do. So this is it does feel it definitely feels more like a Norse version of Diablo a little bit. So
Okay.
if you and this is season 2, so they've already had one come out already, the first game come out. If you ever want to play this, let me. Okay, so it is. You can form a tribe of up to 10 players to defend your village from the relentless onslaught of deadly spirits and gigantic brutes hell bent on bringing it on the end of the world in this game with a unique blend of action, survival, and roguelike elements.
We could have
So
fun. We could have fun with that. That would be fun.
that would be fun, and it's only $20, which is pretty nice.
Yeah,
So
I'm always down for a nice game night with friends. That's always fun.
I would be 100% down for that. So
Hmm.
I like that. And then the other one, which I have to throw out for my obligatory TMNT fans, because I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with a passion. That was my childhood thing. They have the Cowabunga collection, which is going to be coming out on August 30th. Now, this is I know you can probably get all of the games as ROMs online somewhere, but the simple fact that these are all like just slammed together in one giant uh game. You get the Cowabunga collection includes the TMNT arcade game, Turtles in Time arcade game, the TMNT NES game, the TMNT 2 game, the arcade on the NES, the Manhattan Project on the NES game, the Tournament Fighters game, Turtle TMNT 4, the Turtles game, Turtles in Time game from Super Nintendo, the Tournament Fighters from the Super Nintendo, the Hyperstone Heist, which is on the Sega Genesis, Tournament Fighters off of the Sega Genesis, the Fall of the Foot Clan, which came on the Game Boy, then the back TMNT 2 off the Game Boy back to the sewers, and then the third one, Radical Rescue, which is also off the Game Boy. This is a ton of games.
That is a lot of Ninja Turtles.
You say a lot, I say not enough, and it's only $40. So I know a lot of those, like three of those, are redos are basically the same game like the Tournament Fighters. So they released 3 different versions of it because it has different characters on it depending on which system you play on. So the fact that they were able to get all this together and throw them together, I was incredibly surprised that they were able to get that to work. But then again, I think Kevin Eastman actually owns all the rights to the merchandising stuff now because I think Peter Laird doesn't want anything else to do with that. I think he just was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'd say especially some of those Game Boy ones are interesting because they did some like Radical Rescue was like a Metroidvania esque one, and there was some more action adventure. It wasn't all just the arcade style beat 'em ups. So
Yeah. So, like I said, if you guys kind of like that stuff, just go out and check them out. I know I'm probably gonna end up buying it for my Switch because I know at some point I'm gonna have to
I
go on
know
a
you
road
will.
trip. I will probably have to go on a road trip and play it sometime. But so, are there's anything else you want to talk about on game releases, James?
No, I think that's a good chunk of them. We're good.
If you guys think of anything that we've missed that really touches your fancies, tickles your nethers at all, let us know, guys. Yeah, I know.
Peachy, peachy.
Peachy, PG. Oh, sorry. All right, tickles your chin hairs. Does that make you feel better,
There we
James?
go.
If it tickles your chin hairs at all,
The Weeder
um,
Whiskers.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's why I have that rating on us to we have parental guidance on in front of our podcast. If there's anything you guys think we've missed, let us know. I love to hear what you guys are looking forward to in the games to come out for the month. So in news, James, we have a few decent sized stories this month. I was actually pretty surprised. The first one I wanted to talk about, though, before we kind of really get into the heavy stuff, a little bit lighter fare. The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is actually going to be having 3 separate story campaigns. I don't know if you saw this or not.
I
This is
did, and this is interesting to me too because I know we've talked before about how Pokemon Legends Arceus that I liked so much this spring was kind of made by the Niantic's B team, right?
yeah,
It's like their side game, and we were wondering how much of that's going to be incorporated into this new game because by the time that one was released, this new game's more than half done.
yep.
But yeah, now they're talking about doing multiple storylines. So I think the central conceit of the game is that you're joining a school, and as part of your school, you're given like these side projects, and one storyline is the typical become the gym master, and
Yeah.
there's going to be at least 2 other progression quests involved at the same time, and they haven't revealed what they are. But there's a new mechanic where like your Pokemon turn into crystal forms and get stronger, kind of a equivalent to the Gigantamax.
Sorry, my doorbell just rang. I'm gonna. This is why Alexa's here. Tells me. That's why you're like, what is that ding dong ding dong? Oh, and it was just a package, of course. That's all it was. Anyways, forget it.
Okay, so
We're gonna cut
where
that
should I
out.
start back from? I said so. The new game mechanic's been revealed that there's got a mechanic where your Pokemon turn into like a crystal form and get stronger. They might
Yes.
change elements. That'll probably be one of the storylines, and not sure what the other one's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be like a Civ building, catch all the Pokemon type thing, probably. But
Probably. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. I didn't even know that they were planning on making it kind of like that kind of evolution thing, like you were saying earlier. Because I'm be honest with you, I'm not as much as of a Pokemon fan as you are, obviously,
mhm.
and that is why we have you here because you spread tidbits of knowledge, nuggets of knowledge, tidbits of tutelage, as it were.
Bits of
Um,
tutelage. I do like with small toots, but
the small toots. Well, there are toots for everyone, James. There are big toots if you like big toots. Sometimes skinny toots. Sometimes well, I won't go that way with it. But toots for all ages, James, and toots for any kind of person whatsoever out there. So,
that
um,
was not the direction I was going with that one. But okay,
it's never the direction you're gonna go with it, James. You should know this by now.
fair enough.
Is there
Anywho,
are there and so are you hoping so you said you were hoping for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to kind of the other 2 campaigns to maybe just kind of be more of a gather all the Pokemon
well, it's supposed to be open world. I'm just hoping it has some of the open world catch Pokemon as you go things that like Arceus had.
okay.
I don't think it needs to have that super intense catch every Pokemon 20 times in 10 different ways mechanic. But I'm just hoping that the open world is more open because I thought Arceus really nailed the open world part of it.
So do
But
you?
it didn't necessarily nail the content rich world. It was kind of a catching all the Pokemon over and over and over again was the game.
Yeah.
It didn't have a lot of like other life to it. So I'm hoping that this main title game will hit that
So
better.
let me ask you this. So I know we're going to be they're working on the Pokemon MMO is what they're going to be trying. They're pushing towards. That's what they're going to be doing at some point. So do you think they're trying to do this as kind of a base plate to see how much the Nintendo Switch hardware can handle?
I mean, it could be. I think they've just, as a company, moved into the 3D game space because before they were always, 2.5D at most. They had like some 3D graphics, but it wasn't like a 3D game on a console.
Yeah.
And I think they're growing into the space and trying to see where they can take their established franchise so it'll still feel like Pokemon, but hit more stuff. I mean, and yeah, I think moving towards an MMO is something they could definitely do. I don't know how your usual MMO progression is going to fit the Pokemon storyline idea where you're catching Pokemon and raising them. MMOs are usually more about strengthening your one character, but who knows? Maybe they'll have like trainer talents or something. They could. I'm
I'm
sure they can work. I'm
I'm
sure they can work it out.
I'm sure they'll have something like it'll be like levels where you can go in and battle each other if you're at a certain tier level or something like that. So it's I have a feeling because there have been rumors for a while about Pokemon or Nintendo wanting to do like a online MMO Pokemon thing. And that's probably the most easily accessible one that they could do. I think compared to like the other IP that they have. That's just my idea to it.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely blood in the water for MMOs right now, and that WoW has definitely been doing pretty poorly the last couple expansions.
Well,
Final Fantasy 14 is rapidly becoming the premier MMO if it's not already,
yeah.
and it's also like a 12 or 15-year-old game or something. So
Oh yeah.
I think the time is ripe for someone to come up with a new MMO that will take over.
Well,
But
Blizzard,
no
yeah.
one seems to be able to hit the formula.
Well, Blizzard is definitely not going to be doing. I don't know if you saw though. It was like I think it might have been last month that they actually announced. Blizzard announced that they canceled a MMO that they'd been working on for like almost 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's a long time in development, and they canceled it. I think that's just because Microsoft came in and it was just like, you're wasting money. Do something else. Do something that you can like get your feet back on solid ground. Essentially, probably it's kind of what I'm thinking. So,
Well, and that's the trouble with MMOs is that the upfront cost to build the world is so much. Like they can be absolute cash cows like WoW has been for Blizzard. Or
not
they can
anymore.
or they can be like the Amazon New World game, which was dead within like 2 months.
Yeah, which kind of made me sad because I liked the idea. I just did not like how they executed it. It's just that's just me. I like the world that they had.
Yeah, and that's the thing, the devil's in the details for MMOs. Like you have to
Yep.
have the balance between the gameplay, the social aspects, progression, and grind is hard to hit. And I think if WoW Classic has taught us anything, it's that people do appreciate some of the simpler ideas that came with the first generation of MMOs. I think the newer ones have been just completely overdone or overtuned.
Well, yeah,
If
I
the,
think I
if the pathway of progression is too smooth, then it's boring.
yes,
If it's too rough, then it's frustrating. So where do you hit the line?
it's a delicate line. Where do you get all that money from, James? How are you going to get all that money from your subscriptions? You got to walk that fine line.
Yes.
So, other than that, so let's do a little bit of anime news, though. I know you said that you saw. Oh, you kind of talked about Made in
I
Abyss
kind of
a little
talked
bit,
about it,
though.
right? Yeah,
A
Made in
little bit.
Abyss.
Yeah, Made in Abyss is coming out here, and then you put Devil's a part timer here. So,
Hmm.
um, let's see. So actually, oh wow, they already have quite a few episodes out for Devil's a part timer.
Yeah, these both started with the summer season, so I think 4 or 5 episodes are out in Japanese. I don't know how many have
Ooh,
been translated.
yeah.
Devil's a Part Timer is on Crunchyroll. Made in Abyss, I think, is right now just on High Dive's streaming service.
Oh, it makes me sad.
I'll check
Oh,
VRV later and see if they're putting it out at VRV
that
as
is the
well.
That is the first image I have of old bunny ears as a person now. Or is that the little girl? Is that her? Is the little bunny girl?
There
Did she
was the bunny
die?
girl. She didn't die.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm just a moron then.
No,
Um,
they.
so
She
what?
looked more. She looked more monstrous last time we saw her. So it's possible something has happened in that movie that we need to watch.
This is stops. This is all I have to do now. I have to go through and I have to watch episodes now. So it is what it is. So, oh darn, I have my soul crushing duty to watch Made in Abyss with my wife now. This is sad.
It's gonna be some suffering, I guess.
I know this is what I have. So, in some lighter news though, man, there is a YouTuber that got bored and made a toilet into a PC, a gaming PC. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's the basically homeless guy. He has his YouTube channel,
mhm,
and yeah, he built a PC into his toilet. It's pretty much just like an acrylic fish tank inside
yeah.
the toilet bowl. It has a wall cut out. The interesting thing is apparently the first time he made it, it leaked, and he had to do it a second time.
Ooh, that's no bueno. That's rough, dude. That's an
It's no
expensive
bueno.
day.
It's an interesting like YouTube grab. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch the video he did, but I'm just like, why do you want a gaming toilet on your seat? Like he even threw a 3060 in this thing.
Well, it's probably a freaking tax write off for him too, and he probably makes a ridiculous amount of money too. So on top of it, so that's just people are like that. It doesn't it. I don't know. All I can do is cringe and say, "Dear God, what is wrong with you, man?" and move on with my life.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there who'd give their left arm for a 3060, and he put it in the toilet bowl.
That's right. And that's why we need to respect our gaming PCs and our graphics cards, folks. Graphics cards have rights, people. They're people too.
They do. Perhaps they're more important sometimes.
But you know what is more important though? If you are a Riot fan, you might not be seeing any more new champions to be played here in the near future, from what I've gathered.
Which
Right?
I think would be a good thing because they are, well, it's good and bad. Because, like, on one hand, League of Legends, the game, and League of Legends, the money making enterprise, are two very different things. Which, if you've played League very much, you'll know that. It's releasing new champions and new skins and new events to get people spending money on the store is how they fund the game. But
Mm-hmm.
I think they've got like 162 champions or something now.
A ridiculous
They're
amount. Yeah.
frankly running out of design space, and a lot of the newer champions are just getting very repetitive. Like the newest one is pretty much Samira reskinned with some
Yeah.
water themes thrown in. It's I think if they were to stop releasing new stuff for a while and work on fixing the large number of old champions that are just never played, I think that would be good. I think what's really happening though is they're moving their money towards new projects.
What do you blame them?
I don't blame them. I mean, League of Legends as a game is it's pretty aged. I don't think it's hitting it off with the young people as well as they were hoping it would. The people who play it are by and large the same people who've been playing it. And even their professional league has been not as popular this last year.
Nah.
I think what they're going to do is I know they've got a fighting game coming out soon, just like a beat 'em up style thing is coming out very soon. But they're working on an MMO as well, which that got it got leaked in 2020 that they were starting on one. It's apparently been developed since then, but they finally released an update like in August 1st saying that yeah, we're definitely doing it, we're definitely working on it, and it's coming. Which they've got enough world building for an MMO. Like if
Oh,
you read the
absolutely.
backstory for their characters, they've got an awesome setting. Runeterra looks really cool. I think setting an MMO there is a no brainer. Um, which is like every other MMO. We'll have to see if it's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna say very much about it because you can only hype people for 3 or 4 months these days.
Yeah.
Like the
Short
hype
attention
train the
spans.
hype yeah, our attention span has gotten shorter. It's not like before where they could put a new Zelda games teaser in a movie theater somewhere a year in advance and we'd stay excited for a whole year. Now they've got 3 to 6 months before people get bored and move on. So
I think that a lot of people have figured that out. Like I know the Cuphead DLC dropped last month, and
Mhm.
it was, luckily they didn't say, they said that it was coming out. That's all they said. They never told anybody when they did the smart thing and they just dropped it, you
Yeah.
know. And when it dropped, it sold like gangbusters. So
Well, like even Nintendo doesn't even release news of their
dates.
titles. They don't even give out the names of the titles more than a few months in advance. The Pokemon game's kind of an exception, but most of their stuff they drop it in a Nintendo Live 3 or 4 months ahead of time, and that's it.
To be fair, that is probably one of the smarter things that I will give Nintendo is game releases. They have that down pat. It's not
Mhm.
like Xbox and PlayStation where they're like, coming, the new God of War is going to be coming out in 2 years. Get ready for it, guys. We're all just like, what? Yeah, we knew it was coming. Why'd you even say anything about it? Like, now we gotta wait for 2 years because now we're thinking about it. And I get that, that marketing mentality, but to me, it's a little annoying. I would
Mhm.
rather you tell me like, hey, this is the progress we've come out with on the new God of War game, and guess what? It's coming out. We're planning on having it out in 6 months.
Yay!
Do that or whatever it is. Whatever your drink of choice is. I would prefer that more than anything because then I can actually have it sit there. It's fresh in my mind. Like you
Mhm.
said, I think on top of that, it's just my ADD mentality. Unless I write it down and say, hey, this game's coming out this time, I probably will not remember it in 3 months.
Well, it's
So,
also just the sheer quantity of games that come out
oh
now.
yeah,
Like you
100%.
if you ever sat down, like there was only like 120 games or something for the Nintendo 64, like
Yeah.
in total. Like the SNES had a couple hundred, the NES had a ton, but it was different at that
How
point.
many for Steam, James?
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
You will never play all of them on Steam.
And so many of those games are released on every system now through these game developer stores, and
Yep.
I'm glad that game development has gotten more accessible. It's also gotten way harder to stand out.
Yep.
It's not enough to just get mentioned in Nintendo Power and release a game these days.
Those are the good old days. Grab my PC Gamer magazine and I'm like, ooh, what games are coming out this week, guys? Or what they're going to release the new Doom. It's going to be fun. I don't know. It's just I just think it's funny that that's how we think about things, and now it's like you get constantly inundated with tweets and emails, and I can't even say emails now because kids nowadays, most of them don't even have emails unless it's like a junk email or work
Well,
email.
and I
So,
think part of it too is just the amount of time we were willing to sink into those things. Like I don't know if you remember, like back in the day when we were playing Magic the Gathering, like I would sit down and read a couple news articles a day about the game,
oh yeah.
and I did this for years. And the same was true for all of my hobbies. I guess we just had more time to waste as kids too. It's just,
Well, you don't have you also have 40 hours of your life get taken up every week from
well,
work.
yeah. And nowadays, I'm just like, okay, tell me what the good game is. I only have time to play one game this month. Tell me the best one, and I'll play it. I don't even care.
Make the game for me. Just do it. I don't. I won't. I don't want to do it anymore. You start crying, huddling in your mat in your corner. So things that do bring me joy, though, James, I'm throw out a couple more things before we sign off here. If you guys are a Elden Ring fan, which I'm not as much of an Elden Ring fan, but what I am a fan of is Legos. Because although I don't like Minecraft, I really like Legos. And it's kind of like I had a resurgence in my life because my oldest, he has really gotten into Legos, and I kind of hope he keeps this up because it's an excuse for me to buy the nice sets and play with them. I
I
did
mean,
buy
there
I
are some very nice Star Wars sets out there that would be a
and
nice present.
since he doesn't listen to this podcast since he's 3, and maybe my wife will ever listen to me, I actually bought the AT-AT for him, the big
Nice.
one. It costs, I swear to God, it is close to $160, but yeah,
Whoa, whoa.
I might get in trouble for this,
Yeah, I think you will get in trouble for that.
but I think he's really gonna enjoy it because he loves. So I've gotten him several Star Wars sets already, and he
That
really
was
likes
that was
them.
that was a present for you.
No, it wasn't. So to be fair, it was on sale too. It's normally like 180. So
I mean, he's 3 years old. He would have been happy with a cardboard box with an AT-AT picture on the side of it.
he probably will be, but this way it's an excuse. We can put it together. We'll have fun.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So
It'll be good.
we actually got a hold of some of my wife's old Legos. I had no idea Jackie like used to play Legos. She has a bunch of like a Hogwarts Castle one she did.
What?
He
She had the
loved.
castle? She has the castle? That one was
It's not
huge.
like a huge castle. It's like the okay, take that back. It's like the Hogwarts entrance way,
Okay,
right?
it's not like the whole castle.
Yeah, no. I've seen that one. That's like close to like $300, and I'm
I
not gonna
know.
chill
I
out that.
was like, I was like, good lord, Jackie has the whole castle. That's
I
crazy.
know, which that one was pretty cool. Actually, I actually a little part of me wants to buy that one, but I just can't bring myself to do it. So um, maybe if we get into like a big hobby type thing, if he really gets into it, maybe I'll start doing that with him. Um, that'd be rough. But no, there is actually coming back to my original point. There is a gentleman that made the Wandering Mausoleum out of Legos. So it was more than 5,000 pieces, and it was 30 pounds of plastic bricks, a fitting tomb for the demigod.
30
Um,
pounds. Good lord.
I know. So if you take a look at this thing, it is just amazing. So I don't even know what the guy's name was that made it. Okay, made by a builder known as Hobo Sapient. He
I
posted it
like
to the yeah. I do. I love their names. But yeah, he it took him. Did it say how long it took him? I'm curious. At 30 pounds, so roughly this thing is literally like 3 pounds lighter than my son. So this is so big.
Yeah, the picture doesn't do it justice because in the picture it looks cute. It looks like it might be like a foot tall or something. But no, this
Yeah.
thing has to be gigantic.
Oh yeah. It's probably close to being well, considering also it's also plastic. It's probably every bit of 2 feet tall. I bet you
Oh, I
it
bet.
is.
I bet.
So it's a minifig for reference though. So that was a pretty cool thing I thought. And like I said, I get bored sometimes, and I will go to and look up the Lego exhibits that these expos that people go to, and these builders make their own things out of Legos. There's some pretty cool ones. So if you guys ever want to see some really creative people, but also they're very technical people, check these things out. It's pretty cool to watch some of their stuff. So um, we got a few more minutes, so let's throw out the multiverse season one being delayed, James. So this is the new fighter game brought to us by, I believe it is Warner Brothers. Yes, it is Warner Brothers. So they
Yeah,
originally
like
had
their
been
whole, like all the IPs they own smashed together.
pretty much. So this one, so I actually I dabbled a little bit this because it is free to play right now. If anybody wants to try it on Steam, and it is pretty fun to kind of play around with. Somebody's already tiered out the characters and their fighters and their specials, so you can
It
look that up.
has 10 million players already.
I told you, James. I
It's
told you.
gonna be, yeah. It might be a Smash Bros. Killer. We'll see.
It'll definitely be a contender. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Like I said, I only played a couple matches and I enjoyed it. Um, of course, I played Batman and I got my butt handed to me. So it was
What? You didn't play like Bugs Bunny or Adventure Time
James
or something?
James. Who am I gonna play? Am I gonna play a rabbit, a wascally wabbit, or I'm gonna play the Dark Knight? Come on,
I guess it's true. If you can be Batman, you should be Batman.
because
Always
everyone,
always be Batman.
and I'm Batman. That's right. It's always is.
Are you gonna
You
start
do
make?
not.
Are you gonna start making Bat Dad TikToks?
I am, and I'm gonna start talking to my kids in the Bane voice. Like, no, you must eat your peas. Eat your peas if you want the ice cream, little Lewis. Yes. It's how you have to talk to him, and he'll just look at me like I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, so
Probably.
they had their season one, which is their I guess their 1.0 release, and
Hmm.
it got delayed. It says that they don't really have a definite date. It was set to be released, I believe, August 9th, which was supposed to be today, the day of the release, but they've delayed it with no later date at this time, which unfortunately that kind of makes me a little sad. So um, I don't know how long it will be, and we'll see. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But I'm sure it'll be something to the extent that they're probably going to release that battle pass. I think from what I've heard though is that a lot of the stuff they're going to have. something like 50 tiers in their battle pass, which is kind of
Holy
ridiculous.
cow!
So I think it may still be free, but I think at the same time though, they're going to monetize the living hell out of this thing, and I think that might
It
be its
sounds like it.
downfall.
The fact that you just said the words battle pass made me think never going to play this game. That might be a curmudgeon, but I hate battle passes. I do.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that, and that's kind of the one thing that's kind of holding me back from
Like
really digging into this game.
not only do you have to spend extra money, but you have to play it for hundreds of hours to even get the stuff that you already paid for with the money you spent.
Yep.
Like it's addiction and money loss rolled into one, and I don't know.
Well, so I think that's maybe why they might have delayed it after the kind of hype and the bad press that Diablo Immortal got. So I'm thinking they might be retooling it a bit. Maybe, I don't know. But then again, they might end up doing the Star Wars Battlefield 2 thing where they just retool it briefly and they just rename some things and they make it a little bit easier to progress. But I'm telling you,
Well,
you
I'm
get one
actually
chance, to impress your customers on the product that you have. And if you poop in the bed, guys, I'm telling you, you're stepping in it hard, and you're going to lose that fan base and any kind of money you're going to be able to get off of this. So
so actually mentioning Diablo Immortal, I know we had like a whole episode sitting on this game, but
let's shit on some more.
that guy who was trying to get his first legendary 5-star gem,
Yep.
25 grand
See,
for
that's
one.
what I'm talking about. That
Also, it's become clear now that the game doesn't just have these super grindy mechanics, it has hidden caps in it that are not disclosed to you. And so there is a nearly hard cap on how fast you're allowed to gain gear and loot anyway, regardless of how much money you're spending. And so they have revised the estimate of instead up to 600 grand to outfit one character.
so this is where I look at somebody and I say, if you're dumb enough to spend this amount of money, you get what you deserve.
Which again, to be fair to the game, by all reviews, it sounds like the basic game is actually fun.
Yeah,
But there's a limit to how far you can go without spending lots and lots of money.
and I that is what I found out within 40 minutes of playing it. And I looked at it and I said, nope, I'm good. I don't have the time or the money to waste on this game that I know it's going to cost me to get into it. You know, if these whales want to go out and spend 25K, which, or better yet, actually, guys, you know what? Don't do that. Send it to me. I'll put it in my retirement fund. Okay. And I will retire. That'd be a nice little cushion for Daddy David. You know, whenever he's getting ready to retire. Okay, just do it for Daddy David. That's my new nickname now. Okay, Daddy David.
There you go.
Um,
Papa no kiss.
Papa Nookies. Just send it to me, guys. It's
Bringing
all
it
good.
back around.
Or even better, you know, donate to somewhere else. They could be doing so much more with 25 grand. Oh man, I'm just, oh,
Well, so get this: if you take the 600 grand and you put it in a bank account or an investment account at 5% interest, that gets you 30 grand a year. You could buy a full price game every day and still have money left over.
makes my heart break, James.
I
This
just
is the this This is the world we live on. These youngsters don't know how good they've got it, James. I'm telling you. Dang kids. Oh my god, it just drives me up the wall. But
I
anyways,
don't know. Do something
I
better with your money. Go to a steakhouse or something. At least you get to eat it
oh
that
my
way.
god. So everybody, just for a this is the curtain behind the curtain. James was telling me about this wonderful apple pie he made earlier, and now I want to eat it so badly. It's not even funny. I don't even want the money. I want the apple pie.
Well, hey, I mean, I can sell you a slice of sliced apple cake for $60.
Maybe not $60, but I still want the apple pie. If you ever like quit your job, you could totally become like a chef somewhere. Just open your own thing, dude. I think you would have fun. But that's
I
just
would
me.
have a blast with it. I'm hoping like that would be a retirement job when I'm burnt out and I'm ready to do something else. I want to be like the cook at a winery or something where not too intense, but I can do whatever the hell I want. I think
Where
that'd be a lot of fun.
you could be half drunk while you do it.
It sounds great to me, doesn't it?
Hey, I'll come up. I'll be your dish boy. I'm good. I can clean your pans.
That's right. We'll be good. We're
There you
fine.
go. And I can get drunk. That's my job. And you're like, David, have you cleaned my pots yet? And I'm sitting back there and I've passed out because I whipped too hard.
It's
You're
like
like,
I cleaned a pot.
yeah, it's like let's be honest here. That's you were expecting much out of me for this job anyways, so it's good. Or better yet, I start eating somebody's meal because I think it looks so good. That's how exactly how it would go. So
Actually, I did think of one more thing I want to mention.
yeah, go ahead.
I've been playing the Garden Story game on Xbox, the Xbox
Yeah,
Game Pass. I've kind of enjoyed that. It's kind of fun.
the
It's
Garden Story game.
Garden Story. It's cute. You're like this little grape character, and you're part of this like
Oh yeah.
vegetable and animal kingdom. It's a light RPG,
Yes.
and it's fun. It's low key. I don't think it's going to win like any major gaming awards or
Yeah.
anything, but it's a nice piece of low key fun if you just want to kind of unwind and chill a little bit.
The fact that it's described as a chill game set in a cozy village says all I need to know.
Exactly. Like I said, if you want to just do like a lightweight RPG and chill and like be a grape destroying the evil ooze monsters, it's good.
Hey, you know what? I'm down with it. So I will probably check that one out at some point. I just got to find a good weekend that I'm not. Once we get out of summer, man, and I'm not doing all my summer projects, I think I'm gonna have a little downtime to maybe sit down and play a few more games. So
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors is definitely on my to play list. I just don't have the time though. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, though, I think that pretty much wraps up anything of note within our news segment, James. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we skedaddle out of here and you can go and hail your apple pie?
I think it's apple pie time.
Apple pie time. It's apple pie time. Yes, that's me. Winding down for the day. My caffeine has finally run out. So, um,
Gotta have that programming fuel.
that is 100% correct. So it is good to go. So James, I want to say thanks for coming in and sharing your wispy, your whispers of wisdom, your willful whispers of wisdom. There you go. Now I'm just stringing W's together and words
You're
together.
trying. You're trying.
I'll get better, man. I'm gonna get better. I promise.
Your
So
wondrous, whimsical whispers.
they will. They wait. That was gonna go down a weird rabbit path when I said they unwillingly woo me. Not quite. So, but James, again,
willfully woo you with my wondrous, whimsical whiskers.
your whiskers are wonderful. That is 100% there. So, all right. Before we become even more tedious, James, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing your wisdom with us all and your insights. So, guys, thanks for coming in and join us for a few more minutes. Again, we're going to be trying to get back to our normal schedule where we have 2 episodes per month. One in the beginning of the month is going to be the news stuff about everything that's coming out in August and some of the prior news from the month before.
Mhm.
And then later on in the month, we're going to be doing just a straight review of a game, anime, nerd, TV show, whatever it is, maybe even a book. Because we've floated around the idea of doing a Dune episode at one point, which that might be a 2-parter, depending.
Well, I don't know. It is my job to write the next one, so maybe we can do Dune. I gotta think
If
about
we're
it.
gonna do that, if we're gonna sit down, that's gonna be a fat one, and we might have to invite your dad and your uncle on. That would be
But it'd be
a
fun.
long.
It could be a lot of
I would
fun.
love to shoot the shit with your dad. He's a blast to talk with. So, and he's about as scatterbrained as we are. So he could.
It'd be fine.
It's good stuff. So, but again, guys, like I said, if there's anything we missed, just let us know, and we will hear from you later on this month, guys. James, talk to you later, man.
Oh, it's a great time. Thanks.
Bye. If you're interested in keeping up to date with new episodes on our channel, add us on any of your favorite podcasting apps, or subscribe to our YouTube channel at Seriously Pointless Conversations. If you have questions or concerns, please email us at seriouslypointlessconvo@gmail.com. We appreciate any feedback. Thank you for listening to our show.